Hi, everybody. This is an extra episode of Arsenal Fan Circle because I will be away for a couple of weeks. We're going to cram it up this weekend, Gundit News and I. But the Fab Four are in the house, the Fab Four. Who wants to introduce themselves? Some Indian Gooner, go first. You're new to this channel.
Well, I'm honored that I'm part of another fan channel. Well, I've always been on Canon Fodder TV, and yes, Ajax, I can count that. And I think it's really great. I think I've seen Ray also a lot of segments on his channel. I checked out his channel as well. Great content, and happy to be here.
How can people find you? You're on YouTube also, Indian Gooner.
Yes. On YouTube, you can search Indian Gooner. I actually create every single day, and I post videos on Arsenal. So you get all the information, all the latest news, views, what I feel about Arsenal, what should be the general consensus according to me. I think we've really had I think with Unai Emery getting a lot of stick recently, I've actually had a lot of negative comments on my channel as well. So you can find me on YouTube as Indian Gooner.
Maybe you don't need any more heat.
Truly. Is it in Fahrenheit or Celsius?
Celsius.
Cool.
So with that segue, we'll go to Gundit News next. He's in the Celsius zone. He's wearing a shirt. How are you, my
guys? I'm doing great. It's a pleasure to have Alex back on as one of our regulars, and IG is new to us, and we'd just like to welcome him. Guys, please check out his YouTube channel as well. And there's lots to talk about, a lot of controversial stuff, a lot of jokes, a lot of heat as well. But we'll just like to welcome you all to this episode of the podcast. And
Alex, you're the old piece of furniture. You've been around before.
Yeah. I'm the old nudie. Yeah, Canon 4 TV. If you know, or if you've seen our content, we try and keep it very light-hearted. We do have free segments on a Monday. We usually have fan comments where I have my host Richard from Arsenal TV going through all the comments throughout the whole week. Wednesdays is the furious voice of reason, who's my brother, who gives his own take on the events of Arsenal throughout the whole week. And Fridays, we have the Easy Talk, where we have a panel of lovely guests, such as IG and Ray and Mahir. You've not been on before, have you? Mahir?
Nope.
He's not been on Easy Talk before, but yeah, that's Canon 4 TV. Very light-hearted, respectful debates, no infighting, no cursing words, apart from Glenn from time to time.
Garbage mouth Glenn.
Everybody knows that, Alex.
Yeah, I mean, Glenn is so bad. The way we just used him on a phone-in chat, so you couldn't get the full extent of the force of his anger. It was all coming through the phone. All right, so let's get into the topic at hand, everybody. As fans, let's say, first of all, as fans, we all want what's best for Arsenal. We love this club because it has this sense of history and class. And we like to think that we do things the right way. But we have just gone through 9 games where we had the worst start since 2014, 2015 in the first 9 games. Are we regressing, Alex?
At this point in time, honestly, hand on heart, we are. In regards to the reason, my opinion is Unai Emery is still trying to figure out the best combination. He's still got players coming back from injury. Lacazette had some minutes there in the week there. So it's a combination of Unai Emery still not really probably using the players in the right position. We've still got players coming back from injury, and we've got a player coming in next season in Saliba. The defense, we can go over this over and over again. The defense, it cannot defend. It doesn't have any protection from the midfield. So yeah, there's a multitude of reasons. But are we regretting at this point? Yeah, we are. We are. That's the short end of it for me.
Yeah, and then Gooner, going to come to you next. Goals for 13 goals, goals against 12. We've never had a +1 goal difference this far into the season. We're not firing. We're not scoring as many goals as we used to. We're conceding more goals than we were.
Actually, the biggest reason for that is that we are dependent on a single striker. And since Tottenham game, we do not have Alexander Lacazette. So I think we've just discovered Gabriel Martinelli. But he still poses to be a risk to be starting as a lone striker centrally. And I think that should change. The worst part of scoring, we've scored 13 goals. That's not a small amount because we've been winning with very smaller margins. But the problem is that we are giving away a lot of goals. That is the only biggest reason why we have a bigger goal difference than Sheffield United, Liverpool, City. The best of the teams. I think Chelsea have somewhere around 14 goals that they've given. But in that sense, I think the defense has disappointed us. And as it is, during the start of this season, Unai Emery knew what players he has at his disposal. And I think regarding that, all he actually said was his only priority is to win by scoring more goals. He would prefer to win by scoring more goals than giving away, keeping a clean sheet. He just wants those 3 points.
He would rather win 5-4 than 1-0.
So if that is the mentality, then you can't expect the goal difference to be a big.
You guys know what that does basically? That only invites more pressure on the coach, on himself. When he sees such things, I mean, you could even think back to us playing against Sheffield United, right? Lying to us. You'd say Ozil is ready. Yes, in the past, Alex, as you do know, we are sometimes the biggest critics of Ozil. We honestly don't think he's not good enough. Sheffield United, where we need creativity, but he does himself all the time. It was a lackluster performance, poor, that we suffered a loss. And I mean, even in the beginning of time, right, guys? Ray IG, in the beginning of time, we had a lack of players, right? Then we brought in an influx of players, got rid of most of the dead wood, and then it was again the story of all his first choices being injured. And I mean, even till today, Bellerin looks to be ready. Thierry certainly should start, certainly tomorrow. And Pepe, hopefully, he's got his confidence from those 2 banging free kicks, if I must say myself, the other night.
Alex, I'm going to come to you. Taking up Mahir's point, how do we break that cycle? How do we get the players who are performing in the Europa League and the cup competitions seemingly performing better? How do we get them into the English Premier League?
It's funny because I remember having Richard on Cannon 4 TV a few weeks ago, and he was saying, can we just not swap the Europa League team for the Premier League team? But even if you look at the game that they played against Victoria in the week, even I didn't see the whole match, it wasn't a good performance.
Shame.
It wasn't a good performance.
Shame. Alex, shame.
Listen, honestly, what I think is the bottom line is Unai Emery is the professor in the corner doing his experiments. We only need to give this guy time. Just give him time. Give him time to sort out the right combination. And as well, I think we still have this weak mentality that when the going gets tough, who's going to roll up their sleeves and get stuck in? Sheffield United on Monday night. we as much as we crucify Arsenal the way they played on Monday night, Sheffield United played very, very well. They're a well-drilled team. They know how to set up. They have their philosophy. So as much as we crucified Unai Emery and the team selection on Monday night, even though I couldn't see us winning because I predicted a 1-1, Sheffield United, they played very, very well on Monday night. But in regards to going forward, we only have to give Unai Emery time to find his right combination, because we all have our preferred 11. That's our opinion. But what matters at the end of the day is who Unai Emery picks. As much as it pains us, it's his selection, and he's going to live and die by the decisions that he makes. And the only people who matters in this whole melee is the board. If they really think that Unai Emery is not the right person to take Arsenal forward, it doesn't matter what IG thinks. It doesn't matter what Mahir thinks. Ray, it doesn't matter what your opinion is. It's going to be down to the board.
Exactly, and that's a point, Alex, I was going to make. Us as fans, we can express our opinions. That's what we're doing on this platform. Ultimately, the custodians of the club will make that decision. But let me put this to you, Alex. Last year, 1 year ago, we played Leicester City, our 10th game of the season. We beat Leicester City 3-1 at home. Look at the fortunes in the club right now between Leicester City and Arsenal. And Brendan Rodgers came on board in February of this year. Has Unai Emery not had enough time to figure things out?
Right. Again, can I answer that?
Yes.
No, go for it, IG. Because again,
so to answer to answer your question, I think the best thing that Leicester got is they got rid of Harry Maguire. I think it's a real thing, because the slab head was actually slow, and the best part is that they discovered Soyuncu. I mean, he was linked to Arsenal, but probably Arsenal didn't snap him up. So okay, but look at what the problems we had. Unai Emery was expecting Koscielny to actually play this whole season as well, and he acted up.
Yeah.
And as a makeshift defender, we got David Luiz. We did not get Dayot Upamecano because it was during the deadline day deal, and because Leipzig could not get another defender to replace him, and also we did not accept that exchange of Emil Smith-Rowe against him. So there are certain points which also suggest that we actually did not fix our defense. We just got a winger, we just got a fullback. So on top of that, I think if the wider areas are being tied, I think the whole and sole idea of the transfer window, what has actually transpired, and what exactly Unai Emery is. Everyone talks about what is the philosophy of this. What does Unai Emery try to impose? Unai Emery is trying to impose only a single thing: that get the attackers. We're gonna attack. We're gonna score. The only way to win is to score one goal more than the opposition. Because if the defense was a priority, you could have seen Dayot Upamecano and Saliba right from the get-go. Saliba, you don't buy a defender and send him back on loan. You don't do that. But when you do that, I think if the whole and sole idea is to think of the future.
You do that for a good one, for down the line. Yeah. Mahir, you want to jump in?
I just want to say that, to be honest with you, Alex, I don't know if IG, I don't know, Ray, if you guys agree with me or not, but Emery doesn't right now have a philosophy. He doesn't have a style. His style of play, which he's trying to be very simple, he's playing out from the back, and that's inviting pressure. Who's coming to say, look, all we need to do is press, and we can put so much pressure that they make a mistake.
Okay, Mahir, you're getting a little bit of feedback.
Putting under too much pressure by maybe a force of like two wingers and a striker. And we must and our heads go down.
Wakanda forever.
Where we should
I assure you, Mahir is not a cyborg. I assure you, he's a human being. You're breaking up, Mahir.
Human being with rice crisps.
Can I quickly just come back on what the bits what I understand what Mahir was saying, literally, that we don't have a style, and that Emery's style is to play out from the back. Is that not a style? That's a style. that you want to continue. Not that it's the right thing to do all the time, but that is part of his style. And as IG says there, we're going to try and score as many goals that we can to try and outgun the opposition because the defense is not good enough. That's Emery's style. Whether you agree with it or not, that is his style.
He has called himself. IG, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Mahir made a point that playing out from the back, it despises him. He doesn't like that. Manchester City play out from the back. They do. I mean, the game that they lost, I think, against Norwich, Otamendi was a fool at that moment of time. He made a lot of mistakes. The best part was their opposition actually took the chances. The pressing was the best. When you play out from the back and your opposition plays very good pressing football, it's difficult. It's really difficult. Sheffield were great in pressing. They got their chances, and Lys Mousset, and all they knew was they're great in with set pieces. They just need a corner. And before converting one corner by Lys Mousset, you must have seen how many corners Arsenal conceded, because Sheffield knew that if they want to break Arsenal, they need to get a set piece. It was really great. I think to answer your question against if Sheffield United performance of Arsenal is being criticized, I think in the last 10-15 minutes we were just running the ball from left to right because they were defending really well. And it was always a question. If we concede against Sheffield, any team concedes against Sheffield, they're going to sit back and they're going to watch the whole 90 plus the extra minutes play because they know that they can defend. And it's not just Arsenal. I think every team that's going to play Sheffield, whether home or away, they're going to have some problems because Chris Wilder is the biggest problem for everyone. It's not easy to get the 3 points.
Yeah.
Liverpool struggle.
Yeah. And kudos to Alex. He did call that out in his video last week. Sheffield United are going to cause problems for different teams, Alex.
Did they draw today? They drew, didn't they?
I think they drew 1-1.
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah, 1-0.
Yeah.
Best time.
Mahir, are you a cyborg still? Mahir, testing.
Move, at least.
He can't hear.
To your point, Indian Gooner, to your point, Arsenal has become a crossing team. We use all of our play down the wings. We've suffered with inept fullback play from Kolasinac and Ainsley Maitland-Niles. There's stats that we've had 162 crosses this season with only 2 goals from those crosses in the league. We have no creativity in the middle of the park.
Nothing through the middle, which is a problem. Why can't we pick up on subtle hints that, okay, if it's not working on the wing, send it through the middle. Try and send it through the middle. Although, one other point that I want to bring up is his technical ineptness when it comes to personnel management. Playing in the
His technical ineptness when it comes to personnel.
Mahir.
I think the only personnel who's actually suffering is Mesut Ozil, and Mahir loves him.
Oh, we're back to Mesut Ozil again.
We so miss Mube now.
Mahir. Oh, he can't hear us.
Yeah,
okay, yeah.
I'm here.
So are you calling for Mahir Ozil to be called into the first 11?
Look, I want him to have an option. I'm not saying he's our best player, as you do know this. I don't actually want Ozil at Arsenal. He's had one good season, but I would give him a chance. I mean, why is it's like having a worker, you being a boss, and having a worker who's just sitting at work like this, arms folded, doing absolutely no work. At least a chance.
But Mahir, if you have a worker who actually got one whole year last season, and that worker who has to do the best amount of job, that's the reason why he is kept. He just gives you 4 assists, 4 or 5 assists the whole season, playing 27 to 29 odd games. And you actually, Unai Emery was stuck. I mean, in January he tried with Denis Suarez, didn't work. So this time around, when he got Dani Ceballos, Unai Emery was trying to impose the fact that I have got a replacement for Ozil at least for this season.
Yeah, with Ceballos.
I think
With Ceballos. And imagine when Ceballos came in against Vitoria in the second half, it was a different team. Kenduzi,
yes.
it's a different team. Torreira playing in the midfield, different team.
But I'm not
So
saying that he should be included. Like he feel that like he has to be played. What I'm saying is, if you are starting, for example, adequate replacement, but at least try and use it in some sort of way. You're lacking a little bit of creativity, as you guys do know. I'm not his biggest fan. I don't want him at Arsenal. But
Okay.
like an adequate replacement. But
I
it's probably
Mahir,
Dennis Ceballos.
I'm learning a second language here.
Here.
Get some
is that
English in there. But I think
is that what they speak in South Africa?
we're getting the crux. It's the heat. Folks, it's 39 degrees Celsius down there. He's burning up.
That's what it is.
His equipment is burning up. Indian Gooner, our away form last season, we could probably explain it away, but it's continued into this season. A similar pattern.
Surely, not winning many many away games last season, but still having 71 finishing with 71 points. Actually, if Arsenal can go on and at least win 5 or 6 away games compared to last season, you won't
Yep.
believe that we would end up with 86 to 87 points.
Absolutely.
that-
we need that
That is
improvement.
a guaranteed third position.
Where do you see that improvement? Alex, I still see you want to get in, Alex.
Yeah, I just want to quickly say that remember tomorrow will be 10 games into the Premier League, and again, it's too early. It's too early. Things change so very quickly in football. Who would have thought Wolves would have beaten Man City? Who would have thought that?
Not even Pep.
Nobody.
You see, Alex, a lot of the fans are saying, like you, it's too early. A lot of the fans are saying, why wait? Why wait any longer?
All right,
Give them till Christmas.
So, all right, Ray. So I know you're the host, but let me ask you this question: what would be your best 11? What is your best 11 that Unai Emery should pick?
He should pick, in my opinion, and some of these players are in the team, but they need to play in the correct position.
All right, but tell me. Well, okay, but tell me. What
Everybody being fit, I would play a 4-2-3-1 formation. Bern Leno, Bellerin, Holding, Chambers, Tierney, Willock, Torreira, and Guendouzi. Aubameyang on the left, Lacazette in the middle, and Pepe on the right.
Well, that's 12, isn't it?
No,
Is that not 12?
no.
No, 11. 4-3-2-1. He said, right? Yeah.
All right, yeah.
I would squeeze a
good
12th man in there. I would get Martinelli in there under somebody's jersey. He is just an energizer bunny.
There's my hair counting.
See, imagine
Shoes off my here.
Imagine Ozil did not make even Ray's team.
Not for the last 2 years, Indian Gooner. And there is a place for Ozil to play. It's at the Emirates. It's at home. It's versus teams in the bottom half of the table.
Can I just quickly say something about the Mesut Ozil situation and my take on things and on what I've seen and heard Unai Emery say? Clearly, he needs to work a lot harder in training. Clearly, we're trying to move on from Mesut Ozil, but we can't. We've got a player who appears to be very disrespectful to the coach. Yeah. Ultimately, the coach will choose to pick him or not pick him. And Mesut Ozil, whether he's on £1 million a week or 350k a week, he just has to suck it up and sit on the bench and prove himself, prove that he's worthy to be in the first team. That's what he needs to do. And to use my hair's analogy of having an employee in your company, If I'm paying you to do a job, you have to do the job. If you're
Of
not doing the
course.
job, you get sacked. And that's the
Exactly.
situation that we're in now. That he's not proved himself enough to be in the first team. He's not proved himself in training. The only thing I would hold Unai Emery accountable for is that he came out and said, "Well, Özil is doing all the things I'm asking him to do." Then by nature, then he should be on the bench. If you're going to come out and say that statement, then he should be on the bench. But I'm not an Özil guy. I think
And
that's
he,
That's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. If you're saying something to us, you're saying Tierney is clearly fit and Tierney is clearly ready to play. Why then did you buy Tierney if you're just going to use Kolasinac saying things like Kolasinac hasn't done anything to warrant being kept out of the team? Well, can I tell you guys something? He hasn't also warranted anything to get into that team. What does
yeah,
he do?
Mahir, to your point, Alisson has come straight back into the Liverpool team. Why doesn't if Tierney is clearly a better player, why is he not in the Arsenal team?
I honestly can't tell you. I honestly can't tell you because if our coach says something, surely it's carved in wood as per se. You know, if you say Tierney is fit and ready to be used, ready to play, why isn't Tierney playing? You're saying Kolasinac hasn't done anything too, but has he done anything to warrant him being in the squad? Like, what does he actually do? Aside from maybe attack, he can't beat people with the first cross. IG, Alex, I'm sure you guys will agree with me. His crossing is not on point.
so. Who's that? Kolasinac?
Kolasinac.
Yeah.
I mean, I do understand he's doing, but like, you've got Tierney. Tierney is a different animal. He knows where to defend. He knows when to attack. He's crossing. He's finding Martinelli a hole every single cross he puts in. He's finding Martinelli, he's finding Pepe, he's finding Lacazette over. And you give him more chemistry with the team, right? If you play if you play more often, right? There's only going to be more goals for attacking teams.
I think if I may comment on that, see, for that, I think Mahir, you need to answer my one question. Would you start Tierney tomorrow or you start him against Liverpool?
Tomorrow, I honestly feel that we need it tomorrow. We need it
So you prioritize Crystal Palace game other than the fact that Liverpool won't play a much stronger team because they have a Champions League game coming up and they are reeling in the table.
because like it depends on it depends on which side of the fence you sit on. If you feel that we really need to get top four, the best way to get top four, and Ray has also said before, is through the league. Because cup competitions, there's a lot of luck involved also. You must understand, Europa is knocked out, Champions League is knockout, Carabao Cup is knockout, everything you can get knocked out of. And with Europa League, teams from Champions League drop out into our competition as well, competition within Europa League. And you could get I don't know, an Atletico Madrid, you could get this really strong opponent and get that. So it depends if you want top four in the Premier League. If you actually think we're not good enough for Champions League, let's play cup competitions and get maybe a cup. You know, if you don't feel we're ready for Champions League yet,
I think if Unai Emery doesn't get top four this season, I'm not calling for him to be sacked. I'm definitely not calling for him to be sacked.
That is a very brave suggestion.
You will be in the minority, Alex.
Well, if then so be it. I'm not calling for him to be sacked if he does not get top four.
I'm with Alex. I'm with Alex because the season is long. I would not predict it right away but Alex is, I think he's quite clear about it. I'm also clear about it, but I want to see how exactly if the way we bought Nicola Pepe, if he clicks, and the way I saw, which actually Alex did not see the 2 goals live that Pepe scored. If he's that quality, if that clicks, if Rob comes in the right time. And as like Mahir, even I want to see Kieran Tierney and Bayern starting in the fullback positions. And the way I saw Bayern making a forward run, if everything clicks, we on paper we're a different squad. And
Indian Gooner, I agree with you. At this point in time, there's a lot to be enthused about. There's a lot to be excited about. We have youngsters coming through. I just don't see the track record of Unai Emery picking the correct players in the correct position.
True. I think I also agree with that, because I think the most heartbreaking thing whenever a team is announced of Arsenal is we're actually scared to see who exactly is playing. If we
It's
don't see
always-
Ceballos, we think, oh my God, who is the brain? Where is the brain? Where is the creativity coming from?
Alex,
And if we don't see Terrara, it's a different story as well.
yeah. Everybody, Alex, it's the same old suspects that are rolled out for the English Premier League. Socrates, Luis, Xhaka, Kolasinac.
I'm not a fan of David Luiz. I'm not a fan of his.
Me neither.
He was a panic buy.
He's not even a fan of Guendouzi, if you guys don't know.
If you watch him, the way
Yeah. I caught that show. You don't know what Alex has underneath that hat. Indian Gooner.
It does not have anything to do with his hair or their hair or whatever.
No, absolutely not.
I'm serious. Thank you, IG.
Usual suspects, Alex.
No, but listen. If we use Pepe as the blueprint, he came in. He didn't hit the floor or the ground running.
I'm afraid of where you're going with this.
Don't be afraid. Embrace it. No.
La 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 la.
Did he score a goal in his first appearance? Did he score a goal in his second game? Third?
No.
Fourth, fifth? No. So these things, it will take time. Again, it will take time. But I honestly believe that
For David Luiz to settle into London.
Secret agent David Luiz.
David Luiz. I think after watching this interview, David Luiz is packing his bag and straight away heading into Brazil.
No, I think he's going to pack his bag and shave his hair.
Wow. I think I was shocked when I saw Fellaini do that. So I'm not ready for it.
All right, Alex. We're going to listen to you. Finish your point.
No, so again, it's very, very rare that you've got a player who's come from another country and will hit the ground running. Yes. Bergkamp, Thierry Henry, Vieira, those guys, it took a while for them to become acclimatized to the way that we're playing the Premiership.
Yeah.
So with Unai Emery, you've just got to give him time. Give the guy time. I think we still have some certain players that we still need to upgrade on, get rid of. And that's what I think. Well, Alex, it might sound like an easy solution, but again, I'm not going to have that time. Say again?
He's had that time, Alex. Brendan Rodgers has had half a season. Look what they're doing.
Listen. The big difference is we had a manager who was at Arsenal for 22 years. Okay? He came in with his revolutionary dietary, the way they're going to train and everything else there. He brought the principles. 22 years. Whoever was going to come in after Arsene Wenger was going to find it very, very difficult. In his first season, Unai Emery had a squad of players that he didn't bring in. These players weren't his players. The wrong mentality, loser mentality, soft underbelly. So the first season is a given. The second season, he's trying to bring in his players that he wants. I'm not calling for his head at the end of the season if he doesn't get top 4. I'm sorry, it's going to take time. What do you guys want? It's like, it's like fans. It's like they think they've bought a car. They're not happy with the car, and now they want to return the car. This is football. It's football.
And I really don't see
Oh,
when you.
do
I'm sorry
what
if I may
now.
come in.
But
Yeah,
Alex,
go.
there's some mechanisms in the car he's not able to use yet. He's got the handbrake on.
I actually
Exactly.
have
So
a
let him
very
take it
interesting
off.
question for
When he's ready, he will do it.
exactly. I
Indian
actually have
good.
a very interesting question for IG and for Ray because here's the question, right? I am phoning you tomorrow from Juventus, and I am the board at Juventus, one of the main guys, and I tell you Allegri is available right now. Would you, Ray and IG, would you guys sack Emery and bring in Allegri if it was offered to you right now, once in a lifetime, right now?
No. So it's like
There,
you're telling me replace a defensive coach with another one. No.
there we go.
Allegri done what has Allegri done? I mean, he's not won a Champions League, has he? If that's what the thing is all about. I mean, he
Right.
couldn't do that with Juventus. He had what? Pogba, Mandzukic, Costa. He didn't get that.
Everybody.
Alexandro, Pjanic. He couldn't get that because obviously Cristiano Ronaldo dumped them every time. But the problem is that I mean, see, okay, you talk about Brendan Rodgers. Okay, I'll tell you what. When Unai Emery came to this team, the first transfer window, he got Socrates, he got Torreira. He kind of gelled into the team, but the defense was always a malaise. It was a problem. It is a problem
Yeah.
from 3-4 seasons.
It's
It's not.
been
It's a
4
malaise.
seasons.
It's not a disease. It's a malaise now. And first season is over. We were better because I think during I think we lost to Atletico in the semifinals of the Europa when it was the last season of Wenger.
Yep.
Emery took
Yeah.
us to the finals. How do you say that last season was not better than the previous one? It was. We couldn't take our chances. We played mediocre in the final. Fine, I agree with that. This season we lost Aaron Ramsey. And if you guys are talking about creativity, why? See, Unai Emery deserves a little bit of credit here. I think, and he also has actually mentioned certain points where he says that he's made the team competitive. Last season, we were called the second half team.
Yeah.
Obviously, we used to concede, but in the second half, something. I mean, I don't know what. I mean, he was giving them weed. I really don't understand. Something was happening, and these guys were really high on Arsenal, and they're different animal, as what Mahir says. They were a different animal on the pitch. And I saw that against Tottenham. I saw that against Aston Villa. I saw that against Vitoria. Why is that not? Why doesn't Unai Emery get the credit for that? Why is he getting a stick for that? The Arsenal fans who are actually giving the stick to Unai Emery, they're talking of calling out. I believe they are Chelsea fans in disguise because I don't know. I mean, we talk about plastic in the ocean. I don't understand. There is more plasticity in the Chelsea fans. So and which is getting transferred to certain amount of Arsenal. I don't understand. You guys had the patience to sit out Arsene Wenger for 20 years.
20 years.
And you don't want Emery 2 years? Whom
Well,
are you gonna get? Allegri? He's not won a
IG,
Champions League.
IG, there was a huge amount of supporters that were anti-Wenger for many, many years.
I think those many years were after
11.
2011, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I think we had our positive moments then as well. The only reason I think the point that they got were ending up being in Europa League. We were not getting the top four, and that's pissed the fans off. And as it is in Champions League, barring the final that we went in, we did not have a very good run in the Champions League. We never. So that is, I think, right now we are struggling for the top four, and the best solution to do that is wait. And people are not ready to wait till the end of the season.
And the thing
Hell,
is, sorry, sorry,
yeah, please, I'm sorry.
And people are talking about the fantastic job that Lampard is doing, the fantastic job that Brendan Rodgers is doing. It's listen, the Premier League is a long, old slog. It's a long, old slog. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Yeah. So let's see what's going to happen at the end of the season, where they will be. Okay, they're above us. It's a long, old season. Long old season.
We are in a situation tomorrow where we need to win. We are 5 points adrift of those teams right now. Tomorrow is going to be a very important game.
It's going to be a very important game, but none of the Arsenal fans are actually talking about Arsenal winning it. They're rather talking about it would be a big thing if we get a draw. I mean, you're talking as if we've already turned into a big mid-table team. Even if we have, I don't think so. It's all about the mentality. If the fans are actually talking like that, imagine even if they go to the Emirates, I don't think so they're going to cheer even if they score a goal. If Pepe is been given a chance, if he comes in for the last 15 minutes, if he scores 2 goals, obviously Pepe deserves all the credit. But it was Emery's. I mean, Emery brought him. Why doesn't he get the credit for that? I was not expecting Pepe to come in as a substitution. It could have been Saka. It could have been Chambers for the spirit what he showed against Aston Villa. If you have to turn around a 2-1 deficit, you need somebody who has the spirit. And this team has the spirit. This team has the character. I can see that.
Yeah, we've seen it time and again. IG, it's just the fans don't want to see an Aston Villa every week, a Victoria every week.
Can I come in very quickly, Ray?
Yes, Alex.
You know, in regards to the fans and how we're feeling, and it might be transmitted to the team, the negative mentality there. If you saw my live prediction today, I did say I think it's going to be a draw based on the defense. That's all it's based on. We've got enough going forward, but I just don't think the defense has enough shielding from the midfield. The midfield, I mean, I'm always going to have Ceballos in my 11 because we do need some creativity. But in regards to having Lucas Torreira as a defensive midfielder, he has to be and be disciplined in front of the back four. So until that situation resolved there, I'm always going to feel that we're going to be leaking goals. But yeah, of course I'm going to want Arsenal to win.
Sorry, I don't understand why they don't keep Torreira in that field. He is one of the most, potentially one of the best midfielders who are available right now, who are available at that time already. And we using him as a number 10. Like, you've got there. You've got even that guy who we spoke about earlier. I'm not going over his point every single time. But Emery, I don't know how he doesn't see anything. It makes so much sense to us. Who's the base starting 11? But we every something else is going to happen. We're using the old heads. David Luiz, Socrates, Ainsley Maitland-Niles even. It's ridiculous, man. And we know about the Xhaka situation and everything else. So, I'm just tired.
A comment from Stan the Man, and okay, maybe I'm banging on a little bit about this, but hard to dismiss the job Brendan Rodgers is doing over at Leicester. We played him soon. But let's go to the question Richard posed. IG or Alex, do you think the board need to review Unai Emery in January? See if he's still the right man to take us forward.
I think we need to wait till January.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair to the gaffer, and it's fair to the fans as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
London Old School. London Old School. He's the first one to mention this, folks. Let's remember this. London Old School, you antagonist.
Oh my God.
London Old School. What's happened, man? Come on.
Is that Mourinho in the comment?
Talk about trying to stir the pot.
I think he's trying to get us more subscribers.
Or lose subscribers.
We love you, London Old School, but my answer would be no.
Yeah, shout out to London Old School.
If I can come on it, if I could come on it, I think if Mourinho, if I mean Emery is getting the stick to give a very bad treatment to Ozil, imagine Mourinho comes in and the whole team turns up against him.
Oh, you! That's what my answer.
Mahir would definitely have a heart attack then.
Oh, most definitely. You'll be the first person I'll be phoning for help. I won't even phone 911. I'll be like, You already know what's happening. Yes,
And
guys.
Alex,
You won't get the time, bro.
Alex,
I won't get the time.
Alex, I caught your bite
Oh,
size.
guys.
I caught your bite size show, Alex. It was supposed to be bite size. Remember?
That's down to IG. That was that IG.
We crossed the 45-minute mark.
Oh no! Oh no! But James Rowe made a very good point that Jose Mourinho was in the Emirates to see his hometown club, and he's Portuguese, but he's sitting beside Raul.
And
That is commentary gold. That is commentary gold.
We are commentators today, IG. Are you worried that Mourinho is on the short list?
no,
I
Nope.
no, absolutely not.
IG hesitates.
why Alex? Why Alex? Does it has to do anything with his hair?
Because of this, no.
It didn't pop. No hair.
No, this is a guy who openly criticizes his own players.
All the time.
I don't. In his last season, I know he gave the youngsters some games there, but I don't want Mourinho anywhere near Arsenal. Nowhere near the Emirates. Nowhere in 10-mile radius of the team there.
Bro, he was at the
so
Emirates.
disrespectful. Sorry? So I
He was at the Emirates.
No,
in regards to
as a manager. Touche.
Okay. So, IG, I've been making 3 pages of notes for this show, and Stan the Man makes a point that I was going to make. You know, our club is full. We love the tradition and history of this club, but Bruce Rioch did only have 1 season at the club as well, until we got what turned out to be a very good appointment in Arsene Wenger for the first 10 or 12 years. So this is like Bruce Rioch all over again. Do we see that?
I see. I'm stuck with the same point that we need to wait. I think we know that Manchester United are still recuperating Sir Alex Ferguson's departure. They've actually changed a lot of managers. This is the 4th manager. They've actually spent hell lot of money, so which proves the point that it's not all about the money. It's about the players. It's about the quality. It's about the gaffer. It's about the idea. And if you talk about philosophy, well, I think Jose Mourinho himself said that finishing Manchester United second in his last full season with Manchester United was his biggest achievement, because he knows that his players were dumbfounded. I mean, look at Lingard, either injured or, I mean, imagine he's not even had an assist since 7 to 8 months, and he's a midfielder. He's an attacking midfielder. I mean, it's sad to say that, but the biggest problem, and it's very much clear that why Mourinho cannot make into the Arsenal management or become a coach with Arsenal is Mourinho is a person who knows to build a team with money, and we do not have billions to give him. We do not have that. I mean, if Unai Emery, I think Kroenke was very much clear about this. This transfer window, we got a winger, so he was definitely not going to cash in or splash the money for a central defender. He did not. And probably the defense could be the point of attraction in January, if possible, or definitely in the summer transfer window. We are definitely, because I think our management is in the right hands. Edu, Raul, superb management. So let's see how everything pans out.
Just going to the point that Stan made about is it Bruce Rioch all over again? Over the last, I say maybe the time that I've been supporting Arsenal, I've seen Terry Neal, I've seen George Graham, I've seen Bruce Rioch for a very short period of time, I've seen Arsene Wenger. So in 40 years, we've had best part of 4 managers.
4 managers, yeah.
Right. So that shows you that Arsenal historically have not been a club to sack managers, apart from Bruce Rioch.
Yeah.
If if we go by what it appears the majority of the fan base want, and they want Unai Emery out, you bring in a new coach. Let's just say Allegri, for example, Mahir. He's going to be the coach. He's going to have to deal with these players. The dynamics would change so much because some players are going to be instantly out of favor, and then you're going to start
Exactly.
the cycle again. It's
Then
going to
it's
be the same
back
thing
to
again.
square one. Then it's
Again?
basically back to square one. I don't
Exactly.
think. Why would we want to do that? Like we've just started with Emery, and Emery is going to get his starting 11, his best 11, and he's going to bring in more quality, and he's going to get rid of the little bit of deadwood that he's still around. No names mentioned, but we do know Alex, you and myself. There's two names. IG Ray, you guys know those two names.
Can I also know the name, please? Names, please.
The German
Gustav.
contingent. The German contingent, IG.
Oh my God, Mahir, if I may know, what is your strongest 11 for Arsenal?
Okay, it's basically the same as the hosts. It's Leno, even Emilio Martinez for a shout there as deputy. Rob Holding, Bellerin, Tierney, and Callum Chambers.
Remember,
and then,
you can have 12 players. Remember.
He's gonna count. I'm counting.
Yeah. Then I've got Torreira in the midfield along with Guendouzi, Ceballos, and then the front line would have to be Martinelli, Osaka, and Pepe on the right, and Aubameyang and Lacazette somehow all in the same team.
Now this is 12. This is 12.
Just because the host tells you can have 12, you can't have 12.
So Mahir, I asked you this because I just wanted Ozil would make your 11 or not. He doesn't, and you fought for him, bro.
No.
The hypocrisy, achievement unlocked, hypocrisy exposed.
Listen, we're coming to you, Indian Gooner. What is your first 11, Indian Gooner?
If you're seeking whether I will include Ozil or not, I will not. For me, Ozil is over. The chapter is done.
Give me your 11. Give me your 11.
My 11 would be Leno, Hector, and Kieran Tierney as the fullbacks. Centrally, it's very funny, but let's see if this goes right or not. Rob Holding and David Luiz, and midfield Guendouzi and Torreira. And talking about the three people ahead of them, Ceballos at the center. Towards the right, I see Pepe, and towards the left, I see Aubameyang. Centrally, I see Lacazette. Simple as that.
Ooh, I like that.
Ray, are you counting? You look a bit distracted.
4-2-3-1, bro. 4-2-3-1, bro.
Yeah. He did it right.
And Ozil does not make my bench as well.
Is he a substitute?
Probably in the. I don't know. No, he's not. He's not even in the bench for me.
Oh, you're harder than me.
He's in the MLS for me.
Yes, you did say that, right? You did say that.
That chapter is done.
All right, so how confident we're going to get a win tomorrow? I'm confident. I predicted a 3-0 win just because Arsenal, Arsenal go out and win 3-0 tomorrow. We've won 3 games. We've won 3 games and drawn 1 at home.
Ray, did Bearded Gooner tell you to say that?
Yes. he convinced me. He convinced me. I
knew it.
But it's so Arsenal, Alex. It's so Arsenal.
So Arsenal, exactly.
All right, we have a lot of people in the chat. If you're loving this, hit that like button. If you're new around here, subscribe. We're talking about Unai Emery, the coach, style of play, and we're going to get into some questions as well. Who else is confident about a win tomorrow? We're 5 points adrift.
I'm counting on a win tomorrow, but to me, the scoreline would be 2-1 for
I said
2-1 to the
confident.
Arsenal.
I said confident, not counting. You can't count on a win. This is Arsenal, IG.
Yes, we are gonna win. We're gonna win 2-1 to the Arsenal.
Ryan from Mr. Arsenal Podcast, thanks for coming in, Ryan. They shouldn't wait till January to review him. They should be reviewing him now. And if they aren't convinced he can get top forward, then he has to go now and bring someone else in that they believe in fully. That's the temperature of the fan base. That we're thinking about that. And if you don't think that Raul has a short list, you might be kidding yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Not here. Alex,
Ryan looks pissed, isn't he?
Alex,
Yeah, sorry. What's the question? Sorry?
okay, Victoria is clouding our vision from Sheffield United a little bit. Let's take both of those two results in combination in our considered answers.
Well, I didn't see the entirety of the Victoria game. I only saw
Shame,
highlights.
shame,
I had one-
shame.
You missed two world-class free kicks from Pepe.
So IG keeps telling me. Thank you, IG.
Shame.
Especially that second one. It is on YouTube. You can watch it. You can watch the highlights, Alex.
I saw snippets of the highlights. Yeah, and one thing I saw was a little
Snippets of the highlights. Is this guy even an Arsenal fan? What? What? At least you're honest. At least you're honest. I give you that.
Alex, are you David Luiz in disguise, Alex?
Oh my God, Ray, you're a very, very, very funny man.
I'm trying to step up to your level, IG.
You must talk to Glenn. You get the training.
Glenn, me and Glenn, we're like oil and vinegar. We don't mix.
Oh, okay.
No, I love
Shots
Glenn.
We
fired.
must get you on channel for the TV together.
Yes. Two angry men in the room.
Yeah, look, in regards to you want comments about the comparison between Sheffield United and Victoria. I don't
Yeah.
feel I'm in a good position to give my opinion. So
No, but
I'm going to pass it.
you know, one result was bad and the other was bad until the 82nd minute. So 10 minutes of football is masking a little something. And we've all seen Emery on the sideline, here.
Look, all I have to say about it, I mean, you know what, Alex? I discussed this with Alex the day before on a previous episode, where mentalities have to be right, first of all, the players and of the coach. The coach shouldn't feel that having this experience, WWEs and just because he's the captain of the team, that going to a game really defensive. I mean, the performances we wouldn't mind losing. Say, for instance, I'm not saying we should lose. I think we wouldn't mind if we lost, if there was a big performance in it. If you guys catch my point. But surely,
I think we've got the robot here back.
Is it me or does he sound like an African song?
No, he sounds like a cyborg. We've got to give him like an IG 24 or something like that. Not IG, but
IG 40 degree Fahrenheit.
IG 39 Celsius.
Yeah, guys. But what
Okay.
And I'm going to the 3-1 actually personally tomorrow, as I feel
3-1 tomorrow. Yes, confidence. I like that. IG, we've won 3 games at home and drawn 1 out of the 4, so we're strong at home. Our problems will lie away from home. Talk a little bit about Stan the man here. Thanks, Stan. If the manager can't be bothered to cheer a goal, why should the fans What did you see in that Victoria game when Pepe scored the goal, IG?
I think when it was the second goal, which Alex did not see, the second goal was actually. I think Emery was quite confident with the second goal. I think what Stan the Man is talking about is the third goal. I think Emery was sitting down and he did not show any emotions. Probably. I mean, it was 2-2, and he knows that that did not go as planned. He knows that Ainsley's mistake cost them the second goal, and if they, I think that it's quite subjective. I think even if the way a manager reacts, even if that is being counted, then I think there are certain sections of fans who feel bad about it as well. I completely agree, but it's quite subjective. I mean, you can't have a Jurgen Klopp kind of a figure in every club who's dancing every time his team scores. Some people just don't be happy about it. Look at Zidane. If he concedes, if anything happens, he doesn't show his emotions. I think Cristiano's goal or Bale's wonder goal in the final, that's when he reacted. That's the first time I saw him react. It's quite subjective. I think it's premature that Stan the Man believes that. I think it's quite emotions. I won't say premature. I think it's quite subjective for him as well to have those opinions. But on the brighter side, we got the 3 points and we are top of the table.
Yeah, a little bit.
I would say, I would actually say, really, I do sense a change in Unai Emery's demeanor when he began the season, or maybe the tail end of last season. You would see him, jumping and being very, very demonstrative with the players. Even with the there was a snip on Twitter where Willock, I can't remember which game it was, but Willock fought. He got the ball,
Newcastle,
lost possession, and then say again.
Newcastle away.
Newcastle. And then you saw the bench, the camera, where you could see Emery was like cheering him on. So I would say there's been a little change in the way that he is on the sideline. I think with IG, like I said, it's very subjective. You can read into it, or you cannot. I mean, for me personally, I do like to see a coach really being there, showing his emotion on the sideline. But that's just me. That's just me. Oh, we have IG, but not IG. We have Mahir back, the robot.
Mahir, underwater.
He's underwater.
What is good?
These are not my words. I saw in a comment.
Listen,
myself now. I had my mic muted. But yeah, guys, if unfortunately it's due to any technical issues, I sound like I'm underwater. So yeah, as long as I get a few messages across, and I just want to shout out to you all. IG, Alex, I'm glad you guys are here. It's a pleasure to have you here. And to London Old School, Mr. Arsenal Podcast, Richard, everybody who take comments, it's much appreciated, and we love you all for that.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Shout out to Ryan, and congratulations to the England rugby team. They've reached the World Cup final after beating New Zealand this morning in a great game. So well done, England. As an Irishman, I've got to say, well done, England. They did what we could not do. They beat the mighty ABs.
The South Africa play tomorrow, don't they, against Wales?
No, South Africa's playing tomorrow. It's quite a big game. I will, even as an Arsenal fan, I'll be watching it first. And the Arsenal game, hopefully 2 great results tomorrow, Alex and IG and Ray. You know me. I hope honestly that the Crystal Palace game is much more important, though. Even though I do also support my country, and
Yeah, but club football has become that way. The international scene in football is diminished a little bit, Alex.
Yeah, it has. I've got to say, probably you didn't see a couple of months ago. Someone was asking me about the England games there. I don't follow England because my wife is Colombian. My children are Colombian, so I follow Colombia. I don't really, very rarely follow England. So, but yeah, you're right. The international games, it's for me, it's a bit of a wet towel, bit of a wet weekend. That really, I don't really follow. I don't really follow international.
Exactly the same. Blessing, and people around the world as well from Colombia.
I think it's because of the international break. I think these games, the international games that are coming in between, it makes us, want the Premier League to come back very soon, because the
More and
15
more.
days in between
Yeah.
is terrible, terrible. We don't know what to do with the time, and definitely we won't watch the international games.
Yeah.
It just doesn't add up.
The interlull. So appreciate everybody coming into the chats, interacting. Let's get back on Andy and Gooner. Now, whoever comes in, this is the new model of a coach. The coach is supposed to slot in and work with the players that are already available. Isn't that the new way football is going?
But then the fans should expect the same amount of what these players can deliver.
Yeah.
So when you've got Shaka at your disposal, you can't expect him to give a world class performance. I mean, you just can't. So I think one thing which Unai Emery has really got dead wrong is making Shaka the captain. But still, he's made it very clear that Shaka will it's just not because he's the captain to get more game time. But I think there are many, as I think Mahir or probably Ray said, that there are more deadwood still in the club.
Yeah.
So I still believe that the Wenger era players have to find a place where Wenger is managing. Probably they should leave the team which Unai Emery or probably any other manager who manages after Wenger. They should leave the team, which also includes Sead Kolasinac, which also include Granit Xhaka, which includes a lot of players except Aubameyang and Lacazette,
Yeah.
because these guys are world class. I mean, these guys are just adding too much, and you just see. See, we're suffering because we know that Kieran Tierney has not started. We're suffering, and with that, we played Ainsley as a fullback. With that, we had been third before till the Sheffield United game kicked in. We are fifth or sixth right now. So I think we've got some. We've got to be proud with whatever points we've actually got till now, because we did not have a full potential, and we are not that. Instead, we are Emery out. We've got. Idea. So certain people are even getting heart attacks when they see the 11, let alone Mahir. I mean, we see a lot of people do that, and I'm not even picking on Mahir. Even I sometimes feel the heartache. It's really really sad sometimes. And if you got Ceballos, why would you start Willock or probably Ainsley at the midfield? And
Yeah.
even if he got a winger's position, and to me, I think since the Aston Villa game, Ainsley really dropped his value. He dropped it. And defensive, and you saw against Vitoria, I think the way he lost the ball in the midfield, which Alex didn't see, that actually was the result of Vitoria's high pressing. Ainsley high pressing in the midfield, very poor. And if he does two or three more mistakes like that,
His punch,
he'll be frozen out like Mesut Ozil and Mustafi.
his punch was heavy, I think.
But I think with Ainsley making up, I think his best bet to maintain a position in the first 11 would be to challenge Bellerin on the right back, because
Yeah. Go back to that position. Yeah.
in the midfield,
Why
Absolutely.
complain about not playing in the left position? Playing in the left position and playing even fans, why not give gratitude? Why not take it to gratitude and I mean,
Sorry, Mahir. We're not able to pick up what you're saying. Sorry. Alex,
yeah, right, all right.
are we putting the young players in a bad spot because we've moved the Wobie on Mkhitaryan, and these players, especially on the wing, are the ones that are in the firing line. And we have to suffer a little bit with. Arsene Wenger once famously said, "You lose points with young players."
Yeah, it's in one sense it's sad, because we've been crying out, for the coach or the manager, whoever's at Arsenal, to bring in the youth. We've got a rich history of having players coming from the youth academy, and now we've got them playing in the first team. It's like we're so happy and easy to shoot them down. But again, I think Unai Emery needs to try and find the right balance the main problem in the team in this moment in time is the midfield. Who's going to form part of that midfield that can support Aubameyang and Lacazette, i.e. score goals, and who can defend and protect in the back four? The combination is not quite right there. Ainsley Maitland-Niles should not be anywhere near the midfield. Again, his best chance of again securing a spot in the first team there is the right back position, which is currently occupied by Bellerin at sometimes and Chambers, and even then I think maybe he could be a third choice. But yeah, it's the combination, in the midfield that really worries me. We've got enough going forward, but yeah, in regards to the youngsters, Martinez, I love the boy. He's absolutely fantastic. A real find there. So, congratulations to Edu and Raul and those guys there for getting this boy. I hope we keep hold of this guy for many years to come there, because he has the potential of being a real club legend.
Oh, of course.
So the best place for Ainsley Maitland-Niles is on the bench, right?
I think so. Yeah. I think he's third in the pecking order. You've got Bellerin, Chambers, and then Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He just looks he looks too casual on the ball sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's his best chance of getting into the team.
Alex, perhaps what happened with Mustafi just needs to be taken out of the firing line a little bit. He looks low in confidence.
And he's done him a world of good. He looks like a rejuvenated Mustafi.
Kudos to Mustafi.
Say again?
Kudos to Mustafi.
Oh, absolutely. After all that we saw there, literally with the interview he did with this newspaper outlet there, where he laid everything bare. And I don't think the interviewer he went, some of the questions he saw that he asked Mustafi were quite very heartbreaking. But Mustafi, he's done himself a world of goods. Well,
if I may raise a point, if I can raise a very important point, medium, I'd really like to say all the fans who are actually watching, guys, if you don't like any player's performance, please, you can criticize, you can say whatever you want, but don't go and abuse in their social media platforms.
Yeah, and
please don't do that, because Mustafi had actually removed the comment section in his Instagram. Why? I mean, as a human, what do you want him to do? Die? Do a suicide for a poor performance? Sometimes I think you got to give credit to Mustafi, the way he has come up. To come up from that much amount of hate every single day, wherever you go in social media, if you use your phones, you got messages, you got this, you've got that. It's a shame that many fans do that, and that's the reason why many players still believe that they should not be on social media. They don't deserve that much amount of hate. You criticize the performance, I agree. You don't criticize the human.
Human beings like us. All the problems, despite everything that goes on in between,
Yeah. Guess he's gonna
and to IG's point, I just want to highlight a friend to all of us on Twitter at James Rowe NL. If you want to get inside and understand what it's like to be a professional footballer, go and read some of the interviews that James Rowe has done. He has done some superb ones, and you will realize that the footballer is just not what you see out in the field. It's a human being who has family. He has responsibilities beyond his job, and you'll realize the defects that everybody has as human beings, and we are just human beings. We want the best for this Arsenal team. We want 11 players on the pitch performing to the best of their level. But it takes a lot to put together their physical and mental abilities to put out on the field what we need to see.
And Ray, I feel like we've kind of gone full circle. And that's why I say we must not be so reactive so quickly. We must be very calm, cool, and patient, and give Unai Emery the time. Because like you rightly say, the players, they're human beings, they're not robots. They're not robots. So to have that consistency, build some kind of understanding in the squad, at the club. That's what Arsenal is crying out for. 22 years of Arsene Wenger. And after the first season of Unai Emery, there were still people calling for his head after the first season. We've got to give Unai Emery and the players time. Let him do his job. Let him do his job. They're not robots. They're human beings.
Well said, Alex. There is a tendency that I'm worried about that he's not putting the right players in the right positions, and that's my worry. If he differs from my first 11, that's fine, but put them in the position to perform to the best of their ability.
So, Ray, let me ask you this question. So, what is it? What is it you want? Do you want Arsenal to show stellar football, like the likes of Barcelona, or are you more about the results?
I was happy if we went through the season winning 1-0 like the Bournemouth game. I wouldn't be ultimately happy, but I would be happy with the results. It's result-based business.
Okay.
And if we can add in some cavalier football, which we're seeing, Alex, there's this discrepancy the fans are seeing between the Europa League lineups and their respective results and the Premier League lineups and their respective results.
Yeah, we've got my hair back.
That's the disparity that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Why are you good?
Yeah, I'm definitely good, bro.
Oh,
But I fully agree with those points that you guys just made. I mean, personally, I would also, I think it's results based. So if we can add in some sort of fluidity in the football, some beautiful football, maybe that would just be included. That would just be a bonus, an absolute bonus. But like Abdeling skills just mentioned now, Maitland Niles is not good enough with Masanti. Yes, we have pondered about the situation where, say, for instance, we maybe had a Santi and a Torreira in midfield. I mean, I had, yeah, our imaginations went wild with that, but unfortunately, I don't think we'll be able to see that. But yeah, it's results based. I would love 1-0s, 1-0s. Ugly wins sometimes are the best of wins because it gets you, it gets you to where you need to be. You know, it is in terms of points.
Yeah.
Indian Gooner. We've got 5 games. Since you are the international break, we have 5 games for the next international break. Palace,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
the next international break, since you are the international break so much, we
Yes,
have
yes, yes.
our next 5 games until then. Palace tomorrow, Liverpool in the cup, Wolves at home, Victoria away,
Victoria away. Leicester
and
away.
Leicester away. What's your hopes for the next 5 games?
Out of the 5 games, I'm more worried about the Premier League games because I think before the end of I mean, in the next, the coming international break, all the top 6 teams are really having very important games. And with Leicester with that red hot form, I don't know what's going to happen at the King Power Stadium. But I just want at least 2 wins from these 3 games. It's not about the draw. See, the game is at the Emirates. We are at the advantage, not them. It's not. It's just not. It's all about the mentality. These players on paper can produce a victory. They can. And all I would want them to dig deep in and try to find a result for the fans at least. I just want to see that. I just want to see that. So 2 wins at least I'm expecting. I don't know what's going to happen when we go away. It's always a doubt. I won't judge Emery for that. But I really can't say about that. Against the Victoria game away, I don't know. Even if he starts Kolasinac in that, or even if he starts Ozil in that, I really don't know. I don't even care about that game. But the Liverpool, the most intriguing game of all these games is I think Liverpool, the cup game. I am expecting the Liverpool Cup game a very strong 11 from Arsenal. I want Arsenal to destroy Liverpool. The game is at the Anfield, and I really know that they will definitely try to not field a very strong 11. So we have a chance. Let's try to be competitive in a cup. Let's try to win something in the second season. Might bring in the FA Cup fans, or might bring in the Carling Cup fans. Supporting Emery.
See, I'm different. I'm different to IG. I learnt my lesson last season because I was trying to forecast the next 5 games, one game at a time. One game at a time. I'm not going to think beyond the Crystal Palace game. That's my opinion. one game at a time. Things can change so very quickly in the Premiership. You can be the top. Oh yeah, we were in third place, weren't we? And then we found ourselves out of top 4. So it has to be on a one-game basis. Let's deal with the game that we're going to deal with tomorrow. Once that's done, then we can think about the next game. I can't think beyond Crystal Palace.
Alex,
But I respect your opinion, IG.
Alex, do you think Unai Emery is feeling the pressure?
Alex,
Yeah.
to be honest with you,
sorry, am I here?
Sorry, to your point,
I can't. Am I here? Oh, he's gone. He's gone again.
I'm curious about what happens in Europa, unfortunately.
It looks like he has a cameo in this show.
Starting.
Yeah, good point. So I think Unai Emery is starting to feel the heat. Yes, he is. He is. I heard that there was booing in the stadium. There was booing in the stadium, and there was ringing out the songs of "We've Got Özil." I hate to hear our fan base booing players, much less booing our coach. Is he feeling the pressure? Yes, he is. He's only a human being. Who is in the hot seat at any club and can hear and see the banners Unai Emery out and can say that they're not affected by that is a liar. He's feeling the heat.
And they are human beings, just like players.
Absolutely.
Just an announcement tomorrow, Indian Gooner. We will be chatting to some Liverpool supporters. We will be previewing the Wednesday night game. And I can tell you're quite confident about our second team matching up with their second team. Alex and Indian Gooner, I'm looking at this game on Wednesday as a quick preview of what could happen in the coming years. Do you think we can catch up to Liverpool? Our strength and depth with the kids we have, can they become good players and we can rekindle those days like 89 and 91, Alex?
I'll let IG go first on that.
Yeah.
Thank you, Alex, for the respect. Love you for that.
Okay.
But I think to catch Liverpool, I think it is possible for us to catch Liverpool if we let somebody help us to catch Liverpool. And if somebody is not being backed, Liverpool got 4 seasons before they won the Champions League. They stuck with the man. The man has a plan. And if some things are not working out well, if the plans don't work, okay, you have every right to criticize him, sack him, whatever you want to do that. But if a man has a 3-year contract, I think the project of Arsenal is, from now on, I think I see a 4 or 5 year project. Wherein right now, if Willock is 18 years of age, he would be somewhere around 22. Probably by next season, we would see him as a decisive box-to-box midfielder like Maddison, who's attackingly creating more chances. See, everyone wants to see a good amount of football. Everyone wants to see entertaining football. But what I want to see is Arsenal winning. That's it. End of story. End of story. Simple as that. So if the project is 4 or 5 years, 4 or 5 years has to be managed by a single manager. Everyone wants to improve every the other season. So I think Emery is quite for me. Emery is quite competitive to see Arsenal as a big project. That's the whole reason why he was selected, and that's what I think our management sees as well. So as of now, if we can catch Liverpool, yes, we can catch Liverpool. But will we let Emery to do that or any other manager? We don't know that. And I think it is possible for us to catch Liverpool than them catching the Premier League first.
Alex?
Yeah, I totally agree with what Mahir said in regards to where we could be in the future with the youngsters. As IG says, that has to be managed by one coach or stroke one manager. It can't be a combination, over a time of 2. That has to be done. I mean, look at Freddie Ljungberg. Is Unai Emery's number 2? So if we can keep that combination there and keep those group of players there together, the future, sky's the limit. If we keep the same philosophy, all this chopping and changing, it's not going to work. There has to be some kind of continuity there. But yeah, we can catch Liverpool. I mean, Liverpool is the blueprint, or Man City is the blueprint. That's what we should be gravitating towards. But things don't happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day. These things take time. It takes time. I sound like I'm repeating myself. Should I have a board? Patience takes time.
I really, really hope things change in the future in terms of Unai Emery. He needs to change a few things in my viewpoint. I hope he can move with the times, make the changes. We'll see what happens. I want to thank both of you for coming on today. It's a respectful conversation. We're all fans. We all want the same thing for the club. We all want trophies at the end of the day, and we want our club back up near the top. And we will all respect each other's opinion.
Here, here.
Thanks, both of you, for coming on. Join us tomorrow. We will have a pre-game with Gundit News as usual, where we do see the lineup of Crystal Palace. And content keeps flowing, Alex.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, whoever's watching, make sure you subscribe to Arsenal Fan Circle. Get your predictions in. Can you still get the predictions in, Ray?
Can still get the predictions in my last video or on the feed if you want to. Go ahead.
Yeah, so there you go. Again, make sure you subscribe to Arsenal Fan Circle. Ray and here's fantastic content on YouTube as well as IG. Again, very high octane stuff. So
yeah, it was cathartic in a way. Ultimately, though, Alex, we are not going to make the decision. We have opinions, but we'll make the decision. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but you know what? As like you said, we just have to be very, very respectful. You know, just look at the example of nothing, how we can break, a player's confidence. Although might not be there at the stadium, social media, it's so easy for people just to post comments, whatever they're feeling in their heart, without even, connecting their brain, and it can do so much damage to a club, the players. So, guys, before you tweet, before you do like content creation, think before you upload and support Arsenal. Get behind Arsenal. Get behind Arsenal.
Come on, you Gooners, and I want to thank you, Alex, for coming on.
You're welcome. Anytime.
Indian Gooner, thank you for your debut on the channel.
I hope I did well. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, well, we're going to recall you. You'll come back to the first team. Don't worry about that.
Wow. I feel respected now. Can Unai Emery get the same amount of respect?
Say that one more time. Alex, Alex.
Oh, yeah.
Subscribe to this guys, man. Yeah, check out Indian Gooner on YouTube, also folks. Fodder TV. Support these guys. Thanks for coming on. It's been a great show. See you on the next one. Let's hope for a win tomorrow. Come on, you Gooners.
Up the Arsenal.
Up the